The New Formalism Movement. The New Formalism Movement took place in the late 20th century to the early 21st century, starting around the 1980s. This movement was a response against the popular free verse poetry that had taken place in the 1960s and 1970s, so the poets of this movement had tried to use rhyme and meter most often. This movement took place to try to bring back the traditional forms of poetry. But some have criticized this movement's poets for their use of style and meter because it could have gotten rid of the strong, moving, and more visionary forms of the poem. Major poets of this movement include Dana Gioia, Marilyn Hacker, A.E. Stallings, Mark Jarman, and Molly Peacock. A.E. Stallings. Alicia Elizabeth Stallings is an author and poet who was born on July 2, 1968, in Decatur, Georgia, and is still alive today. Although she was born in the United States, she had moved to Greece in 1999, where she still resides today. In 1990, she had gotten her education from the University of Georgia while studying classics. She was awarded multiple awards, including the Richard Wilbur Award for her first poetry collection by the name of Archaic Smile in 1999, the Howard Nemerov Sonnet Award in 2004, the Poets Prize in 2008, the Willis Barnstone Translation Prize in 2010. Stallings is currently a contributor to the Poetry Magazine and is an editor of the Atlantic Review, an American magazine. At the Athens Center in Greece, she is also the director of their poetry program. Her poem, A Fear of Happiness, by A.E. Stallings. Looking back, it's something I've always had. As a kid, it was a glass-floored elevator I crouched at the bottom of, my eyes squinched tight, or a staircase whose gaps I was afraid I'd slip through. Though someone always said I'd be all right. Just don't look down, or see, it's not so bad, the nothing rising underfoot. Then later, the high dive at the pool, the treehouse perch, Ferris wheels, balconies, cliffs, a penthouse view, the merest thought of airplanes. You can call it a fear of heights, a horror of the deep, but it isn't the unfathomable fall that makes me giddy, makes my stomach lurch. It's that the ledge itself invents the leap. In Stallings' poem, she is talking about fear as a whole. Throughout her poem, she describes the simple childhood fears that caused her to be afraid, such as tall buildings, airplanes, and Ferris wheels. But among the last lines of her poem, she decides to take a turn. She exclaims that the fall doesn't really make her scared. It's that the ledge itself invents the leap. This can mean that when she actually is stepping off that ledge and is deciding to let herself fall, the fear will take place in her. So as she is implying, the fear is only internal. It is only a state of mind. The title Fear of Happiness truly represents what Stallings is trying to say, because if she does take that leap and lets herself fall, it will be new, exciting, different, and maybe even give her happiness. But she doesn't want to let herself go, because change is often frightening to a person. Therefore, it is a fear of being happy. In the poem, she is naming the activities she had a fear of that are typically fun and give joy to most people. So the fact that she cannot step off that ledge of the high dive or ride a Ferris wheel means that she was literally afraid of the things that could cause her happiness. The fear she is describing can also be only a mental fear. It doesn't have to be a physical leap or action, but maybe it can be a change in her life or someone else's life.